The doll didn't blink until midnight. You will never buy dolls again. In the quiet village of Umual, nestled in the thick arms of Anambra's farmlands, life moved with a peaceful rhythm, roosters crowing at dawn, barefoot children chasing after tires, and women pounding yam as the smoke of firewood kissed the sky. Life was simple, predictable. It was in this village that Chinya lived with her husband, Obina, and their only daughter, Adaora. At 8 years old, Adaora was the kind of child whose laughter could warm the coldest heart. Her mother often called her, "my second heart," and spared no effort to give her the little luxuries they could afford. So when Obina returned one Sunday from Onitsha market with a plastic-wrapped doll, Chinya was surprised. Dolls weren't common in the village. Most children played with molded clay or banana stock toys. But this doll was different. It had skin the color of baked clay, synthetic black hair, long eyelashes that fluttered slightly when shaken, and the creepiest part, eyes that appeared to follow you around the room. "Where did you get this?" Chinya asked, a knot forming in her chest. "From one trader near Upper Eweka," Obina replied, shrugging. "The man was in a hurry and sold it to me cheaply. Adaora will love it." And love it, she did. From that moment on, Adaora went nowhere without the doll. She named it Neka, and treated it like a real baby, singing to it, feeding it, even whispering secrets into its molded plastic ears. But strange things began to happen. It started subtly. One morning, Chinya walked into Adaora's room and found it freezing cold, despite the stifling heat of the harmattan. The windows were tightly shut. Yet, there was frost on the curtain edges, and the doll sat in the middle of the bed, smiling. That same week, Adaora began waking up at night screaming. She'd point to the doll and say, "She's walking around. She said she wants my eyes." Chinya slapped her lightly, told her to stop watching scary stories from the older village boys. But Adaora's eyes, bloodshot and tired, told another story. Soon, neighbors started whispering. Young goat tied beside the house went missing. One was found days later, stiff and cold, with both eyes plucked out. A hen was discovered in Chinya's backyard, headless, feathers neatly arranged in a circle like a ritual. One evening, Chinya walked into the room to find Adaora having a one-sided conversation with the doll. "She said you're wicked," Adaora whispered. "That she will soon take me away where dolls don't die." Chinya froze. She snatched the doll from her and flung it out the window into the bush behind the house. That night, Adaora cried herself to sleep. The next morning, the doll was back on the bed. Clean. Untouched. Smiling. Chinya screamed. Obina, ever the skeptic, accused his wife of dramatizing things. "It's just a toy. Children have active imaginations." But that was the night everything fell apart. They woke to hear music playing softly. A lullaby. One Chinya hadn't heard before. It was coming from the backyard. When they stepped out with a lantern, what they saw chilled them to the core. Adaora was outside, barefoot, dancing slowly under the mango tree. Her eyes were closed, and in her hands, she held the doll high in the air like a sacrifice. Surrounding her were small animals, dead ones, arranged like worshippers. Chinya screamed her name. Adaora stopped dancing, opened her eyes, and they were pitch black. That night, the family didn't sleep. The next day, they took the doll to the parish priest, Father Noji. The man took one look at the doll, made the sign of the cross, and said, "Wherever you bought this from, someone has used it. This is not a toy. It's a vessel." He prayed over it. Sprinkled it with holy water. The doll caught fire on its own. yet it didn't melt. The priest kept it in the church sacristy, locked away. But 3 nights later, it disappeared. No one had broken in. The locks were untouched. Back at the house, Adaora's health began to decline. She refused to eat, spoke only in whispers, drew strange figures on the walls in charcoal, figures with empty eye sockets and long hair. In a final act of desperation, Chinya took her daughter and left the village, leaving Obinna behind. She traveled to Enugu, to a distant cousin who knew a spiritual woman. The woman, Mama Okoye, was not your typical herbalist. She didn't charge for her services. She asked for nothing but silence and faith. She looked at Adaora, touched her head, and closed her eyes. When she opened them, she said simply, "Your daughter is not alone." Then she boiled herbs, bathed the girl in a mixture that smelled of old forest and bitter leaves. For 3 days, they stayed in her compound. On the 3rd night, Adaora woke up screaming. The next morning, she was fine. No more black eyes. No more whispers. Mama Okoye told Chinya to return home and never let any object into her house without praying over it. Some people sell more than just goods, she said. They sell gateways. Years later, when Adaora was in secondary school, she told her mother that she remembered everything, the doll, the voice, the promises. She wanted me to go with her to her world, she said. A place where children like me would never grow old. Chinya never allowed dolls in the house again. And in the village of Umual, no parent ever bought a plastic doll again, not even the ones that blink or cry. Especially not those ones. Life lessons. In a world full of second-hand items and cheap miracles, always be careful what you bring into your home. Some things are better left unsold and untouched.